Hello everyone and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 in our first look at this game. So of course we're going to start with a tutorial and we're flying here the Cessna 172 Skyhawk. So originally I was waiting for this game to go on sale on the Steam sale, but of course I didn't realise that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, it took it 2 years before it went on sale. Although it was on sale for a very hefty 80% discount about 2.5 years post release. And of course it's been released now for about 9 months, and I thought we might as well play it. I got it on CD keys for 50 quid, so 40% discount. I was not paying the full price, you know, not a hope. So we got on the CD keys there with the Xbox Series X version, which is grand. Uninstalled Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, which was massive uninstalled. Like the FTS injector tool as well, which is taking up a lot of space. That like altogether that's taking up like 240 gigabytes. This only takes up 50 gigabytes, and the install of this is much quicker. This I think I left it to install there. I was out for about 1 hour. It was installed. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It took a day essentially. It took ages, like 10 hours. This took an hour, so it's great. So FC briefing. So basically, we're in this now. It's starting training. I don't know why this is taking so long, but we'll just wait for it a bit. So the medium preset has given me is medium settings, but I've upped some of them to high. I think the processor's well able. I think it's the GPU that might be letting us down a bit on the bandwidth. So only the basics. I don't know why this is taking a bit long to kind of load. If this would hurry up, it would be great. So anyway, time to learn the basics. Before getting to know more about aircraft controls, we go over basic camera and toolbar interactions with an essential tool to master Flight Simulator. This tutorial will learn to open and interact with the toolbar menu, interact with camera panel, use the cursor to highlight, interact with cockpit instruments, create, save and access custom camera views. Toolbar. The toolbar is a quick access. Yeah, we know the toolbar is great. Start training. So essentially we're going to do a quick training. We have our Trustmaster. I haven't really set up stuff because I think a lot of it's automatic. We might have to play around with the settings, all that kind of jazz. Hopefully not too much because I'm a bit lazy. But looking forward to this. This is a game that's been on my bucket list for a while. And also, I was meant to do tutorials. I probably should have got this earlier and done tutorials for those because those do well and those kind of pay off the game. So I've spent 50 quid on this, and hopefully, you know, at some point we'll get a payback of this at 50 quid plus. We'll see. It's definitely more of a payback than any of this Train Sim 5 DLCs that I buy that have given me not the payback of costs. Not yet, look. So, looking forward to this. So, some cool new features in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 versus Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So, you can actually walk around in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 if you want to do the pre-checks, all that jazz. So, you know, there's that extra level of immersion. So, there's not just the plane view. Okay, so I need to load the GPU settings. So I think the bit so I can't believe this. Yeah, this is the only thing is that it's
Welcome to Sedona.
no, I'm not going to talk while they're talking.
Molina, and I'll be your instructor.
Let me just do the settings for a second. So obviously the GPU is it's not liking this, so frame rate target. We'll just do that, and we'll set this back to medium. See, I don't know, cause like the GPU, like I bought it like 2 years ago, and it's pretty like it was decent enough. Like I don't know if I just need to buy another VRAM. I don't really want to invest in another GPU.
For this lesson, we're going to start on the ground and focus on some basic concepts. Fundamentals every pilot needs to know before hitting the skies. This is your plane, a classic, the Cessna 172. Take a look around it. In the simulator, anytime you want, you can easily switch to cursor mode. Now try to find and open the camera panel in the toolbar.
Okay.
The camera panel allows you to access the various views and camera modes of the simulation. Go ahead and close all the panels for now. Right now, we are in the external view mode. Let's switch to cockpit view next.
X. That's not it. I don't know if there's a button on my thing that. Just trying to see there's a button on the joystick that. Oh, there we go. So it's
In front of you is the yoke, the primary means of controlling the aircraft. In the simulation, you will be controlling the aircraft with your peripherals of choice. So, let's hide the yoke for now.
And I hide the yoke how?
Alright, as we've seen, when you want to look around you, it's easy to rotate the camera. But you can also move it freely in the cockpit to get a better view of anything you want to see.
This is a bit... okay.
Even through a window to look outside.
Great, so that's the camera view stuff. We'll move on to the next thing. So you can see some of the other stuff that's kind of new to this is you can see there's people there. So we have the marshal, that kind of marshals the aircraft when you're doing pushback. So let's go to the next training. So the next stuff is aircraft essentials. So as this is one of your first lessons, we'll start by getting familiar with the main aircraft controls and instruments. In this tutorial, you'll learn about the yoke, which controls the aircraft's ailerons and elevator axis, the rudder paddles, which control the aircraft's gyro axis, and the throttle and RPM indicator. So one of the features that come with this game are also the career mode, which is brand new to Microsoft Simulator 2025, and this new aircraft, including the Boeing 737 MAX. Okay, I don't know what's going on with this. How is it exceeding my GPU? Looks like I will have to buy a bloody new GPU, which is a bit of an annoying thing. I think for now we're just gonna leave the settings to the ones it likes, which is back to the bloody 50.
Let's get you.
So we're gonna go to settings. Gonna go to graphics is there, and reset defaults. Let's see if that's the default stuff. Don't think I need this at high. And then let's save. Yeah, look, it's not ideal because it's a bit annoying considering I bloody blocked this GPU not too long ago.
Familiar with the
Didn't really get
aircraft, a
much use of
Cessna
it.
172, and a few commands to navigate it through the skies. In front of you is the yoke. The yoke is like a steering wheel, more or less. Turn it left or right to control the ailerons and bank the aircraft into turns. Look at the trailing edge of the wings while turning the yoke to see the effect on the ailerons.
Okay, so to do that, look at the end of this Shift K. Using Shift plus K, Shift I, Shift J, Shift L. That's just moving around. Okay. That's great. Oh, sorry, it was this button. Oh, sorry, that's the rudder.
Okay. Now, the difference between the yoke and a steering wheel is you can pull or push on the yoke. This controls the elevator at the back of the aircraft to make it climb or descend. Look at the horizontal stabilizer while you pull on the yoke. You can see how it affects the elevator.
Horizontal stabilizer is the thing at the back. Oh no.
Nice.
I think those are the ailerons, the back wings.
Down at your feet are the rudder pedals. They steer the aircraft when you're on the ground. The upper part of the pedals also control your brakes. In the air, they control the rudder at the end of the vertical stabilizer to yaw the aircraft. This is mostly for small corrections. For coordinating turns or compensating for a plane's tendency to pull left during takeoffs and climbs. Look at the vertical tail while operating the pedals to see the effect on the rudder.
Yeah, so this tutorial is very basic,
Great.
but I guess it's good to have a super basic tutorial just to kind of refresh the
Last
memory.
but not least, the throttle is located near the center of the cockpit.
Like
Pushing
super basic.
forward will increase power. Pulling back will decrease power.
I hope you can guys hear me well as well.
First, look at the throttle and select it.
So we're using, by the way, the Trustmaster AT120 Airbus side stick. I have to lock this, I think. So to lock it,
Keep it selected and push it forward to increase power. Power is increased. Now pull it back to decrease power.
This is a bit like annoying, to be honest.
Power is decreased.
Yeah, I know.
Now we'll do the same without focusing on it. Deselect the throttle. Look away from the throttle and increase power. Set your throttle to idle. Excellent.
Okay. It's a bit buggy this in that
When
regard.
the engine is on, you'll be able to see the power change on your RPM indicator.
Excellent.
You will find it on your PFD screen in the top left corner.
Okay, so look at the RPM indicator, which is here. Shift K.
This tells you how
Okay,
fast
great.
the engine is spinning in hundreds of revolutions per minute. Next, take a look at your current speed on the airspeed indicator. It's on the left on your PFD screen. It measures the speed in knots. To check your altitude, look to the altimeter. It's on the right on your PFD screen.
That's the altimeter there, this blue bar. Excellent.
Not all aircraft have integrated screens with all this information. A lot of them rely on analog instruments.
Oh, I presume you all know
You
what
can
an
find
analog
the analog
instrument is.
versions
It's
of the
basically just not
airspeed
digital.
indicator and the altimeter just above the throttle.
The altimeter.
They are respectively on the left and right.
That's our altitude, and then that is our speed.
The analog altimeter has 3 hands similar to a clock. The long, thick pointer indicates 100-foot intervals. The short, thick one is 1,000-foot intervals. And the long, thin one counts 10,000-foot intervals. That's all for today. Next time, we'll see how it feels in the air.
Excellent. So what we do next is, that's great, training complete. We move on to the next thing. And we start with next training. Great. Okay, we don't need to see the briefing. It's fairly self-explanatory what the altitude and pitch will do. But this is just a good way to kind of get familiar with the basics. So, ready to fly. Graphics don't look too bad, to be fair, even at medium.
To help demonstrate pitch, I've drawn 3 lines on the windshield. Notice how the middle line matches the horizon while we're flying level?
Oh, I'm enjoying
This
this
is the
already.
cruise
It's been
attitude.
ages since I played this game. Like, I
The
played
lower
obviously the
dotted
previous
line
version,
is
but
the
it's been
climb
ages.
attitude, and the upper one is the descent attitude. Let's dig deeper into what that means. Pull back gently on the yoke until the climb attitude line matches the horizon. Then maintain that attitude.
Oh my days, this is harder than it looks, even with the side stick. With a keyboard, it's really difficult to do this, but that's the horizon, no? Or is it meant to be this one that's the horizon? Sorry. I thought it was the middle line. Oh my, this is really...
According to your altimeter, we're gaining altitude. But we're losing airspeed, proving you can't avoid basic physics while making a climb. Excellent. That's good. Keep working on it. You'll get better.
Thank you.
Now, let's level back out.
Oh, that is...
Our speed is increasing and our altitude is stable.
Okay. This is, for
That's
some reason I have to keep the side stick, like, above
Push
the natural
gently on
position.
the yoke until the descent attitude line matches the horizon. Then maintain that attitude.
Lower airspeed. Oh my days, this is painful.
As expected, with a nose-down attitude, our altitude is decreasing while our speed is picking up.
At least you said I was expecting, it's obvious.
Great. That's good. Keep working on it. You'll get better. Okay, bring us back to level flight. Now your speed is decreasing and your altitude is stable.
That should be level 5.
That's okay.
When
I think
she
a bit
says
more
that's
practice
okay.
may be a good idea. Try to make only small adjustments to your pitch to avoid overcorrection.
See, that's what's the interesting thing. That when I let go of the side stick, the central position is not at like a level pitch; it's a downward pitch. It's a bit annoying. But I guess you just need to tweak the settings. So next up is, I presume, bank angles, or there's probably a more correct term for that. Great. Yeah, like I knew it wasn't going to give us like 100% rating there, but look, we're not pedantic about that. Turns. Great. So this lesson will focus on learning the turn with your aircraft. To perform a turn, you will have to move the yoke in the direction of your choice while maintaining a centered. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory stuff. Like, you know, it's fairly basic. Like, these tutorials are extremely basic, but look, it's just good to kind of
get in. For this lesson, we're going to use a line drawn on the windshield.
I'm pretty sure there's a full career mode where you can do a full flight school training, which is pretty cool.
I've also added another dotted line to help you bank properly for left turns. Gently move the yoke to the left until the dotted line matches up with the horizon. Then maintain that bank.
Oh, like this requires a very steady hand. Okay.
Keep working on it. You'll get better.
Could you stop? I know that. Practice makes perfect. I don't need you to tell me that.
Watch your altitude. It wasn't constant during the turn. Now,
what you annoying me was... Yeah, the altitude there is not great. But we need to adjust the sensitivity because it's a bit too sensitive.
That's good.
This thing for me.
Remember to maintain altitude while leveling off.
I would do that if the control was doing what I wanted.
Next step, turning to the right. Let's see how you do on your own without any markings. You can see a series of notches representing 10-degree increments on the attitude indicator part of your PFD. As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees.
You'll get the bank angle warning if you go over 30 degrees.
Start banking right until you're lined up with the second notch to the right on the attitude indicator. Then, maintain that 20-degree bank while remaining at the same altitude until I ask you to stop.
Where's minus 20? Oh, so it's 20 I think we need to be at. Oops.
Stall. You put your plane in a dangerous situation. For the next step, turning to the right, let's see how you do on your own without any markings. You can see a series of notches representing 10-degree increments on the attitude indicator part of your PFD. As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees.
I know, we said this already.
Start banking right until you're lined up with the second notch to the right on the attitude indicator.
What is the second notch?
Then, maintain that 20-degree bank while remaining at the same altitude until I ask you to stop.
Okay. I think the notch is to the right of the is on the right PFD. This.
That's good. Keep working to maintain a constant altitude during the turn. Level us back out now. That's good. Remember to maintain altitude while leveling off. Additional practice will help. Don't worry.
I'm not worrying.
Small corrections on the yoke will lead to more accurate turns.
It's only like 50%, it's only pathetic like that, but that's fine. Great, so next up is so now it's the power settings, which is where we get stuff interesting and then probably a landing. How long is this video? Coming at 19 minutes, grand. So this is all to do with the throttle correction, which is a bit finicky with the side stick. Now the other thing is obviously when you have a side stick, is if you launch the aircraft in not in the what's the word, idle position, it's not going to necessarily align with where the throttle is in the game, so you have to do a quick flip, which basically means we just need to go back front to kind of make sure that they're aligned. essentially. Okay.
Let's talk about the throttle. If you have the need for speed, then the throttle's for you. Full control over the power output of the engine. In the Cessna 172, that relates directly to the RPM displayed on the tachometer on the PFD.
What's the tachometer?
Pull back on the throttle to reduce RPM to 1800.
Where's the airspeed indicator? Oh, it's there. So it's if you look at the second PFD, it's a 2080. So
pull back on the throttle. You want to reduce RPM to 1800. Look how your speed and altitude are also decreasing. Excellent. Okay, let's throttle back up to 2,400 RPM.
okay, this is a bit finicky.
Push the throttle to reach 2,400
That's what I'm doing.
RPM.
I'm doing it gently and slowly. Would you stop talking? If I need your help, I'll ask you.
Your speed is increasing now. As long as you maintain the same attitude, your altitude will keep climbing as well. Nice. That was excellent.
Was it? Oh, I don't think it was, but
With
sure.
piston planes like this Cessna, it's common to have power targets defined in RPM.
Wonder where we're flying over as well. It's probably the US. Power settings, that's great. Let's see what the next training is. I presume there's a takeoff and landing. And then that's a nice quick overview of all the settings. Great. Trim management. Oh, I hate this. Now that you know how to climb, descend, and fly level, let's introduce you to a way to maintain a desired attitude without having constant interact with the yoke. This trim is a tool for that very purpose. You'll also learn more about the relationship between power and pitch. Okay, actually this is useful for us because, as you could saw, we were a bit struggling with having to constantly adjust that. But that was potentially due to the trim settings. Great.
In this lesson, let's take a look at the relationship between attitudes and power settings. Attitude plus power equals performance. We're currently at 5,500 feet in a cruise attitude. The aircraft's nose is positioned under the horizon, and cruise power is at 2,300 RPM. Try to reduce power to 2,000 RPM while maintaining 5,500 feet. That's okay. You probably noticed, to maintain altitude, you need to pitch the nose up. You could just keep pulling on the yoke to hold steady, but that's not really a precise means of control. Probably better to adjust your trim wheel until you don't need to push, or pull on the yoke. Drag the trim down when you need to set the nose up. Drag it up to set the nose down.
Right, so yeah, as in negative degrees is a pitch up.
Try adding trim to keep us at 5,500 feet without increasing throttle.
We're at 5,700. So the trim essentially, I think, is affecting.
Try it out. Trim the aircraft to maintain 5,500 feet.
The trim would be at the bottom of the. So the trim would be at the bottom of the. At the bottom of the. Oh.
Try it out. Trim the aircraft to maintain 5,500 feet.
That's not great.
Try it out. Trim the aircraft to maintain 5,500 feet. Try it out. Trim the aircraft to maintain
I guess, like,
5,500 feet.
why is this trim not working? This is why I hate the trim.
That's good.
No, it's not.
You're not high enough. Increase power to 2,300 RPM while maintaining 5,500 feet. Get us back to a cruise attitude. That's good. Now, adjust the trim. All right. You did well, but you can do better.
Yeah, I know.
You've left the training airspace. You need to go back. The way I was taught, when you adjust the trim, you make course changes at first to remove pressure on the yoke. Then small adjustments to find the perfect setting to keep your desired attitude. If you feel your pitch slipping and need to get back to the proper attitude, don't worry. Just pull on the yoke, then dial in the right trim. That's the key to straight and level flight.
Yeah, so the trim, also there's no thing on the side stick for the trim, but yeah, that's definitely not my favorite thing to be doing. Alright, so folks, now it's the next training, which is maneuver test. Who knows what we have in store here. So basically we're doing power, altitude, lift, elevators, ailerons, rudder. So basically performance, airspeed, attitude, direction. So airspeed, yeah, okay, look, and then directional balance, which is rudder. This will be all explained by our instructor, Madame. You'll do okay. You'll do better. Practice makes perfect. Don't worry. It's like, thanks. This is a game. I don't take this seriously, but this is a simulator, and some people take this very, very seriously. So anyway, let's see how it goes.
The art of maneuvering a plane through the air
Flying over the
isn't a
same bloody
mystery to you
airspace every
anymore.
bloody time. Give
Now
me
it's
some
time to
scenery.
test the skills you've learned. As you can see, we're cruising at 6,000 feet on a north heading of 360 degrees. Start by descending to 5,500 feet while maintaining a northerly heading.
Where's my compass? Does that say north?
When you feel ready, start descending.
What is north?
While descending, reduce throttle
Oh,
to
so
avoid
yeah.
overspeed.
North's this way. North is 360 degrees. Obviously on some sort of hill, so it's quite high at they're quite close to the ground at 5,500 feet above sea
While
level.
descending, reduce throttle to avoid overspeed. That's okay. Now climb to 6,000 feet and turn to a south heading. On the Cessna 172, you need full power to climb effectively.
Because you have to turn back south because we're in the training airspace. Oh, that bank angle was a bit... It's on the second PFD. Although there can be two PFDs because it primary obviously applies to one. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to the altitude. I saw the green, I assumed that it was to do with the south heading, but it was actually the altitude.
Alright, next exercise. Maintain your heading of 180 degrees, stay at 6,000 feet, and adjust your airspeed to 80 knots.
80 knots? Which is how much RPM?
That's good. Your speed was well managed, but your altitude needs to be more accurate. You did well, but you can do better.
Okay, we didn't use any rudder in that. Okay, maneuver test training. I think we're on to the next thing. Next training. Aircraft and sensors. Okay, so that's basic handling. And then takeoff and landing. So pre-flight. So we'll do all these. Let me just check how much we're on. Yeah, we'll do all these. It'll be an hour tutorial, but it'll be a full tutorial of how to fly the Cessna 172 Skyhawk and a first look at Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And this is going to give us a full basic overview of like the aircraft. So it's good. Just give me a second there. Okay, folks, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start with the pre-flight checks. So, sorry, just kind of multitasking here, so it's pausing and stopping, but it's grand, it's grand. We'll see how this goes. Pre-flight training, just load, load, load. I have all day. Yes, 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 I have all day. Okay, great.
Hello. Today we're going to go over all the steps that precede turning on your engine. Those steps are essential to ensure your aircraft's integrity and that everything is in order for a smooth and seamless flight. First of all, stretch your legs a bit and take a look at your aircraft and your surroundings.
So this is the brand new
feature. To look at our aircraft from the outside, so take your time if you want to inspect it.
So this is our first time.
You might have noticed some extra bits on your aircraft. These are the covers and chocks.
So this is like
the covers are installed when the plane is not in use and are meant to avoid damaging its sensitive parts. Chocks are there to immobilize the aircraft. You'll need to remove them before takeoff.
Yeah, so basically, this is one of the great things about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is you can actually walk around the aircraft. This is a brand new thing. It's been a feature of many simulators, like the Bus, Tram Sim, Train Sim World, etc., etc., and it's a great feature. Chocks, another fun fact, is they're also used to because it's not good to have the aircraft brakes engaged the whole time because they get very hot. So that's another reason why chocks are used to immobilize an aircraft. basically you don't want to be using the aircraft for a long time. So remove the engine cover. So the engine cover is up here, and what we need to do is, I think we just click on it. Great, so we've removed the engine cover. Remove the static power cover. Great. Remove the chocks, so click on those. Remove. And presumably we so we've checked the tower condition, that's okay. That's pretty cool. This is a really cool feature of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, I have to say. Really impressed with this. So remove the pilot tube cover that is here. No, that's the other one. That's not what we're checking. That's maybe it's on the other side. Why is he squatted, our pilot? I don't know what the tube cover is. Oh, it's here.
And we're done for the outside.
Great.
Now that we're sure your aircraft is functional and ready to taxi, let's check the inside.
So also, some of the checks you do is you check the right strut. You usually check the propeller, so basically they usually spin the engines. You'll see the Ryanair crew or whatever crew airline you fly with doing the pre-flight checks after they land. You check the aircraft, check the integrity of everything, the ailerons, all that jazz, the tail here. Great. So now let's get into our aircraft. So basically we can open the door and in we go.
Let's get to the matter at hand.
Seamlessly.
You've been given an EFB, also referred to as an electronic flight bag. It's a tablet that stores critical flight information and is the ideal tool to prepare your flight plans and enhance your piloting experience. Open it and take a look. Feel free to follow a quick guided tour of its features.
So why is this thing so far away? Anyway, next, so this is our aircraft. This is the information. So basically this all used to be on paper, and obviously they're saving a lot of trees by not having this on paper, although the tablets also have their own environmental kind of stuff. So, flight planner. Great. We won't
the EFB features
perfect.
An interactive map, a flight plan editor, aircraft and current flight information, a nav log, as well as fuel and payload options. The EFB has plenty to offer, but if you want to get directly into the action, you can turn it off after you finish the quick tour. It seems like we're all clear on the checklist. Now start this pretty bird up.
That's not the right thing. No, it was control A, sorry, click control R. Garmin.
Now that we've covered all the preparations, let's get to the good stuff, shall we?
Great, so that's been complete, so that's our pre-flight checks. So then we go on to the next thing, next training, taxiing. Great. Okay, so next is start training. So we do taxiing. Oh, yeah, continuing on. We're continuing on with taxiing, so I can't remember if I unpause or pause this, but we're doing taxiing. So great. Perfect. Taxiing with two eyes. It does look a bit wonky. Aye aye. Aye aye aye. Perfect. So we're ready to fly. This is our aircraft. Perfect.
Let's take a moment to talk about taxiing. Taxiing refers to moving the aircraft on the ground under its own power. In particular, getting from the ramp out to the hold short point on the edge of the runway.
Let's just go straight to
Steering
us.
on the ground is managed through the rudder pedals. That's right, unlike driving a car, we turn by using our feet. Okay, ready? With the throttle idle, release your parking brake.
I wonder if so the parking
Next
brake
time,
is a center
make
button.
sure your throttle is at idle before releasing the parking brake. Now, gently increase throttle to get the aircraft moving. Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway.
Yeah, so basically what happened there
Now,
was, it's kind of all the same with the side
gently
stick,
increase throttle
is
to
that
get the aircraft moving.
basically what happened there is with the side stick, because my thing wasn't yeah, so the side stick can be a bit finicky because if it's not in the idle position, it'll pull us at full throttle.
Add power to start taxiing.
That's what I'm doing. Oh, that's
Go
why.
easy on your throttle. Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway. Increase throttle to gain forward momentum, and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed.
What is a brake?
Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway.
What's the brake on this?
Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway. Increase throttle to gain forward momentum, and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing.
So I'm trying to figure out what the brake is on this. What's this doing? I'm trying to figure out what the brake is, so that's the flaps. Okay, so the brakes are one of these two. Great. Let me just restart that. So sorry. So what I was saying there is, yeah. So that's basically just always remember if you're using the side stick to keep it back to neutral. So that's one of the other new things with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is that they actually inject real life airlines and aircraft into this. So it's not just generic nonsense. So you no longer need the injector tool, which is great. It's nice not to have to do extra stuff to get like realism. It's just because it's like finicky. So this is a great thing. So obviously they have the licenses or not to use that.
Let's take a moment to talk about taxiing. Taxiing refers to moving the aircraft on the ground under its own power. In particular, getting from the ramp out to the hold short point on the edge of the runway. Steering on the ground is managed through the rudder pedals. That's right, unlike driving a car, we turn by using our feet. Okay, ready? With the throttle idle, release your parking brake.
Oh, I've got my microphone.
Okay. Now, gently increase throttle to get the aircraft moving. Go easy on your throttle. Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway. Increase throttle to gain forward momentum, and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing.
Oh, you can see the thing on the screen. Oh, for flip's sake.
Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway.
Are you kidding me?
Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway. Increase throttle to gain forward momentum, and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing.
I hate taxiing. I've never been good at it in this game. Like, it's just... I don't really get it. Like, okay.
Unfortunately,
they only use the outside view because I don't really get it.
Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway.
Like, this is, yeah, I really hate taxiing.
Increase throttle to gain forward momentum, and then reduce RPM accordingly to match
But
a
it's not
fast
really
walking
something
speed
that
while
needs to
taxiing.
be particularly good at. Yeah, I know it's really bad taxiing, but you'll see even like pilots, they're not like...
Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway.
Like, what
Use
do you
your
mean?
rudder pedal to turn left.
What do you mean
and
my
enter
wheels...
the taxiway.
Like, this is really confusing.
Increase throttle to gain forward momentum, and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing.
Like, the moment is... Like, I'm confused. So I think I'm going to stay on the inside of the taxi line. Okay, well, if that's what it wants, that's what it wants. Oh, is my left wheel meant to stay within the... Oh, maybe that's what it's meant to do. Maybe...
Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway.
Okay.
Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway.
Maybe I just skip this one, to be honest.
Increase throttle to gain forward momentum, and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing.
So I don't know why this is not working. There we go. I'm a bit confused, to be honest, because it should be it should be staying on the taxiway. Like, I don't get it.
Unfortunately, one of your wheels
What
crossed out
wheel?
of the
Will you tell me what
taxiway.
wheel? Instead of telling me unfortunately which wheel, because I don't
Use
actually.
your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway.
It doesn't really make sense.
Increase throttle to gain forward momentum and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing. Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway. Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway. Increase throttle to gain forward momentum and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed
Maybe
while
wants me
taxiing.
to do this. What I like? What like that's? What are you saying?
Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway. Increase throttle to gain forward momentum and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing. Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway. Unfortunately, one of your wheels.
So I think the center wheel is
crossed
meant to be on the taxiway, but like it's just, as you can see, it's being
Use your
very.
rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway.
No, we'll try this one more time, and if this doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Increase throttle to gain forward momentum and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing.
Like, to me it looks like we're center, but obviously it's not agreeing. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
one
go
of your
away.
wheels crossed out of
No,
the
this is a
taxiway.
ridiculous tutorial. Unfortunately, I think you're on drugs. So we'll just go to the next one. What does it say here? FC briefing. Stay aligned with the center line. Okay, well, let's try staying aligned with the center line again, but like.
Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway.
The thing is, we are aligned with the center line, so
Increase throttle to gain forward momentum and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing.
Because that's the thing, like, so I am within the center line, so if you keep telling me I'm not, then that's really a you issue. Yeah, no.
Unfortunately,
no.
one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway.
Okay, bye. Listen, unfortunately, you're just trying to waste my time. We'll just go to the next flight because it's a joke. So we'll do takeoff, then we'll do. Yeah, great. Sorry about that, folks. I really don't know what was happening there, but apart from me getting super annoyed at it. Great. So we shall begin.
There's an old saying I like. A mile of road will take you a mile. A mile of runway will take you anywhere. Taking off isn't hard, but there are a few key points to remember. First, we always take off into the wind, which won't be an issue on a calm day like today. Second, before we enter a runway, we always make sure it's clear. Check to the right to see if a vehicle is on the runway. And to the left to make sure no other planes are approaching. Runway numbers are not arbitrary. Each number matches the first two numbers of the runway's compass bearing, rounded to the nearest 10 degrees. For example, a runway orientated towards the north would be numbered 36, which is 360 degrees on a compass. Everything looks good, no cross traffic. Go ahead and taxi into position. Now slowly taxi onto the runway and align the plane with the center line. Excellent. Then stop your plane just after the number 21. All right, let's do this. Apply full power, and I'll walk you through the takeoff as we go.
What about flaps? Oh, that's 10 already.
Use your rudder to stay on the center line, and keep pushing power until you reach 55 knots. Good. Now, gently pull back on the yoke. And we're airborne. Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple of inches above the horizon. That'll pitch us up and set a good climb attitude. Maintain 75 knots and we'll reach our target altitude of 5,500 feet in no time. Focus on flying straight. Use your rudders to remove the left yaw plane as when climbing. You can see your current yaw input by looking at the MFD slip skid indicator.
So I can't see my airspeed from here. It's a bit oh wait, so my airspeed is
Maintain 75 knots and climb to 5,500 feet.
oh, so our airspeed is also on the left on the PFD, that's grand.
Okay, 5,500 feet. You've reached your target altitude. That was a nice takeoff.
I just want to take a screenshot, but I can't remember how you take a screenshot in for flip's sake, it's too late now. I forgot this is not on Steam, so I can't take screenshots that way. In this landing tutorial, focus on using the yoke. Okay, right. Okay,
For
great.
this landing exercise, I want you to focus on the yoke only. We're close enough to the runway to land safely without adding any throttle. Maintain a speed of around 65 knots. Pitch down if you're going too slow. Pitch up if you're too fast. Keep your airspeed at 65 knots. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. To flare means to raise the nose of the aircraft to slow your descent for a softer landing, but without ever leveling off or climbing. The main landing gear will touch down before the nose wheel does.
I don't think this was correct.
We're coming up on flare height. Resist the temptation to pull back. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now, apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line.
That's the one thing, see, like with this thing is like when you press the brakes, press them very harshly. So there are some limitations even with a side stick.
Well done. But there's room for improvement.
Yeah, I know. That was a disaster. Okay. Great. So this is kind of like the airspeed thing. Because as you saw there, we didn't touch the airspeed and we ended up being too high. Okay. How do you take screenshots in Windows is the other question. I need to look that up. Get rid of that TE. Will you go away?
In the first part of this landing exercise, I want you to stay on the glide path by using the throttle. You can make small corrections with the yoke to stay aligned with the runway. Smooth action on the throttle is key for remaining on the correct glide path. If you find yourself too high, reduce your power. If you're too low, increase it. Remember though, always make soft corrections. You don't want to overcompensate. Now you can use the elevator to land.
We're not aligned with the runway. Yeah. I have to say the ceiling looks really cool. Oh, you can see in the PFD. So I think this is like the two white lines, the first two ones are where I meant to
reduce throttle to idle.
Touchdown, and it's a bit past that.
Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now, apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. That was excellent.
I know. I'm glad you agree, and you managed to admit it. Great. Big Sheldon moment right there. And now it comes all together. We won't do the full flight because the full flight is just this all together, and this video is already an hour long. So hopefully we can keep the landing under 3 minutes, and then we keep the video under an hour. But actually, before we do that, I do need to check how to do a screenshot in this game because that would be useful. I think it's Window S. Is it Window S? Alt S? I'll just do print screen. Where's print screen? Great.
My first instructor used to say, the best part of flying is landing in one piece. Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 20 degrees of flaps. Keep your aim point on the runway threshold.
I wonder what city we are in.
When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare.
We're a bit under speed. This is somewhere in the US, some canyon. Utah maybe. Somewhere like central US. Even though flying is fast, this feels like we're crawling to the runway. Cabin crew, seats for landing, even though there's no cabin crew. I have to say this game is much more enjoyable with a side stick. I do recommend getting a side stick. But I have to say overall, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, very impressed. You know, it's much better. I think there's a lot of optimization in terms of rendering. You know, all these issues are kind of taking up a lot of size. The graphics are good even at medium. You know, there's nice new features. I'm looking forward to seeing also the real life airlines, which should be in a subsequent video when I have some more time to film. We need to increase the speed a bit. But yeah, it's really good. It's really good. It's enjoying this. I'm enjoying this, and it's running well so far. We'll have to see when we get to the bigger aircraft and the jets. The jets tend to be the laggy ones. That might not bode too well, but. These are the poppy lights. I don't remember how to read poppy lights properly. Yeah, you can see here how we're approaching. I don't know, I feel like we're a bit high, but I don't know, we'll see. We stayed aligned with the runway, which is, for me, is an achievement. And we're landing on runway 3, which is a northerly runway, because 360 and 3 is one of the same. 360 could also be 0. We're heading of north-northeast. North-north-north. This is north-north 2 and east.
Reduce throttle to idle. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
It's not a great landing because we're off the center line, but...
Nice. Now, apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line.
That was the parking brake, whoops.
That was excellent.
I'm not sure about that, but if you say so, I'll take it. And folks, thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully you found this video helpful. That's Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, the kind of essentials, the basics. We've seen the aircraft, like the Cessna 172 Skyhawk. We've seen the tutorial. We're going to go to the training menu. So there's other trainings you can do, which we might or might not do at some point. So like there's downwind, so follow a traffic pattern. So, you know, that's grand, that's grand. For a solo flight, then you have VFR navigation, which is using all this stuff. We'll also look at all that down the line. IFR navigation, we'll do that. It's just good to get to the basics, especially kind of refreshers. There's helicopter, there's bush pilots. I don't like gliders, we're not doing that. There's maneuvers. We can try this, and we can try this. So yeah, we'll go through all of these. And then what I'm quickly going to do is I'm just going to take a look at the aircraft that is available to us in this game. So we go to free flight and we take a look at our aircraft. We'll see all the aircraft that come with this. I had bought like 2 or 3 aircraft like embryos in the 2020, but because that was in a the C one, I'm not sure if I can actually get them through. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at airplanes. We can see here we have a Cessna series. I'm really more interested in the jets, so we're going to kind of fast forward through a lot of these. The Halavand, we have a DC-3, that's from 2020. So a lot of stuff has been carried out from Microsoft 2020, although we have some extra aircraft added in as well. The main ones being the Boeing 737 MAX 8. I think there's an Airbus A330. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through to that. Airplane. Did I skip them, or did I pass through them? So there's the Boeing 747, Boeing 737 MAX, which is also known as the A200 if it's Ryanair, the A330-200, the A320, we have a 321 long range, which is nice, a 320 Neo, the A310. So the new stuff in terms of jets are the 321 long range, or it's essentially just a 321 next generation, a 300 A330-200R, which we also have a 300 anyway, and we also have a Boeing 737 MAX. Some nice additions. Then there's other stuff which we won't really bother getting into. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching, and bye for now.